Okay, you might notice I'm in the exact same place as I was for the last vlog. That's because I pretty much just watched 2 episodes in a row. I had a little extra time, so I figured, just do them both at the same time. So, okay, so this one is, that's why I have the Wikipedia, because I always forget the titles. Bato of the Water Tribe, which I don't really know why it's called that, because he doesn't play a major part in this, really. It's not really about him, but title schmeidels. I'll be honest, this is the first episode I've seen so far that I actually did not like. And that in no way means, oh, Avatar's going downhill, how could you do this, Avatar? You're doing so great. Every show's gonna have shows that, you're not gonna like or just aren't gonna hold up. Even The Great Divide, I actually liked the episode up until the last 30 seconds. But this was the first one I was watching. I was like, no, this seems... A lot of things going on in here not only don't make sense, but are really out of character. Which was really surprising for me, because, yeah, you can nitpick little things here and there, but this seemed like, no, that does not seem like, something that was properly built up to, and then properly delivered. This episode, they come across a member of Sokka and Katara's tribe, who was a friend of their father's, and he says that a letter is coming in that's gonna show where their father is. Aang, I guess, gets jealous that they're gonna see their dad, or that he's not part of the Water Tribe techniques. I don't know. It's very odd. You just know he's upset about something there. Maybe that they have the parents, or that one's still alive. I don't know. Does not seem like Aang to get jealous over something like that, but... So, he sort of runs off, coincidentally, during the moment when they say, hey, would you like to come with us to see the father? And say, oh, that'd be great! And he feels heartbroken and walks out. And then they say, but we really should stick with Aang. I hate that. I hate that shit. That is so contrived. How often does that happen in real life? How can we, deal with real-life problems like the show is trying to teach us when you throw in stuff that doesn't happen? Oh, I hate those. But that's not the only thing. So this messenger comes, sees Aang, says, hey, you look like a waterbender. Can you get this to, Bato? It's the map to, where, Sokka and Katara's, father is. So he looks at it and goes, I don't think so, and he crumbles it up and puts it in his vest. Who the hell is this? Again, this is a monk. This is, yeah, he's a kid, but he's still a monk. And, yeah, he's gonna make mistakes like a kid, but where did this sudden weird jealousy come from to go this far to keep these kids from their father? Very weird. So he gets rid of the letter, or at least crumbles it up and hides it. And then he goes with them on this thing called ice dodging, but there's no glaciers, so they pretty much do rock dodging on this boat, in which Aang is asked to help out, and when Sokka's shouting the orders, he's like, what does that mean? What does that mean? So that makes no sense. Why, they wouldn't go over what the things on the ship do? So, I mean, I know the brother and sister would know it, but he wouldn't know it. So they do that, and, in the wonderful... crowning of the irony, they say, and Katara, you are bravery, Sokka, you are, I don't know, wisdom or knowledge or something like that, and Aang, you are trust. You are the essential focus of trust in this collection, in this group, and I'm like, come on. Which, of course, he finally says, okay, look, I gotta let you know, I kept this from you, and then he shows them the map, and... the two kids freak, pretty rightfully so, that, hey, this is the map to our father, even though they did just sort of agree that they weren't going to go to the father. But nonetheless, I can understand their anger. Sokka, in a millisecond, just says, we're done, we're done. Katara, you coming with me? You're either with me or against me. Katara gets in the same mindset as just like, I'm coming with you, Sokka. Screw the Avatar, and walks off. It's like, what? Where did all this come from? Like, this is so strange because everything else in the show is so well building up and adding on top of these things. And here's just these sudden, really forced, contrived moments that obviously are going to resolve themselves at the end of the episode because you haven't had enough time to build up that this is something that would last over several episodes. So it felt unbelievably forced. And sure enough, even Sokka just like halfway walking back is like, nah, we're wrong. We should go back. Katara, millisecond. Yeah, you're right. And then even Bato, who at first was like, hey, you really should think about this, but then when he says he's leaving Aang, he just joins him. And then when he says they're gonna go back, he's like, that's the right thing to do. It's like, even he's switching sides, flip-flopping like mad. So, all this builds up to, the other thing I forgot to mention. Okay, so there's also this bounty hunter who's a pretty cool character. She sort of rides this giant, I want to say like a dinosaur mole. That's the only way I can describe it. It has sort of like a mole nose, and it sees through smell pretty much, and it can track anything. So they use Katara's necklace. The Fire Nation uses Katara's necklace to find them and locate the Avatar. She was cool, though, again, like, just inconsistent stuff, like, she looks like she's, I don't know, like, early 20s or something like that, and this is not, she's tough, but she's not strong. You look at her, it's like, oh, this is not a muscle-bound woman, and yet you see her in this place, this bar, where apparently she's, like, arm wrestling these guys that look like Street Fighter contenders. I mean, just these huge muscle-bound guys, and she's defeating them over and over. It's like, how is this happening? They never explain how that's happening, so again, maybe they'll explain it later, but she's, if you're gonna make this woman like really muscular and tough, make her look muscular and tough, and make her look like that, that knight from Game of Thrones, that one woman that's like a fucking giant. It's like, yeah, okay, if she was arm wrestling, you get it, because like she's huge and she's got the muscle, but yeah, this woman's like, normal size, not many muscle. How is she defeating these people? And on top of that, Aang goes in and says, oh, yeah, it's nice to be in a room that's covered with dead animal skins. Fair enough, monk, but he's not going to push too hard. But then you see him wearing, like, the head of one of the animal skins on his head. It's like, dude, you were uncomfortable with that for a second. So it's all these inconsistencies. It's amazing, the inconsistencies in this episode. But for all of that, there's two things I really do like. One is the climax is really good again. Just some great fighting. Again, really great displaying that balance. There's a scene where they're fighting on top of a well. You've got the hole in the middle and they're just stepping on the sides of it. Now, in a cartoon, that would not be very interesting because it's a cartoon. They can do whatever they want, but they keep that balance there. And they sort of shake the camera so it looks a little bit more like you're watching it, and they show different angles where the feet are stepping, and it's very well choreographed, and again, very nicely done. There's this great battle between Appa and this, whatever, that mole-asaur, a dinosaur thing. They have a cool little fight. The bounty hunter gets in the fight, and the uncle is there, just sort of smelling perfumes and stuff, but you got Zuko and Avatar fighting. It's a great fight. So that's really cool, and it took its time with it, and that was really neat. The only other thing I really liked in it was that during the ice dodging scene, you got them going towards the rocks, and Bato says, okay, Sokka, you've proven yourself, you don't need to go any further. And he says, no, I think I can do this, Katara, use your water bending, and Aang, use your water bending, to raise the water up, see if we can get over the rocks. And they just barely make it, and that's it. And I like that because one of the things I've noticed more and more, particularly about American culture and our ethics and what we like to stress, is that Americans seem to be, just by how we were created, we seem very naturally rebellious and overly confident. We're sort of, blissfully naive. That we don't know what can hurt us, so we sort of go in head first. And a lot of American morals try to stamp against that. And rightfully so. Again, it's sort of what we do, so we try to incorporate more teamwork and, stand together and don't be so selfish and so on and so forth, and you don't need to prove to yourself everything, and it's okay to lose sometimes. Every once in a while, it's nice to get, a message that says, you know what, sometimes a little risk-taking is okay. And sometimes it can pay off. Again, not that we necessarily need a lot of that message, but it's nice to still know that is a message. You can take risks, and they can pay off, and they have to be smart, they have to be calculated. Sokka didn't just go into it and say, we'll make it. He had a plan. So I like that. I mean, that's a very minor thing, but I thought that was pretty cool. But aside from that, yeah, I thought this was like a really weak episode. It had a good climax. I like that little thing in the middle there, and I like knowing the father's alive. And the bounty hunter's cool, even though, like I said, the whole strength thing doesn't make sense. But yeah, how many episodes? I mean, what episode is this? That's like episode 15, and I finally found one. I'm like, yeah, I don't like that. I didn't care for that episode. Still impressive. I mean, we're getting near the end of the first season, and to finally come across an episode, I'm like, yeah, I didn't like that one. That's pretty well done, so that's just naturally gonna happen. And even then, there were good things in it. So, yeah, God, we're getting pretty close to the end of the first season here already. We got 5 more episodes, and then the beginning of the second season. So, yeah, has some good stuff, just didn't care for the rest of it. So, hopefully the next one will be even better. And I will see you at that next one. Till then.